One of the main points of contention in the patent war between Gilead Sciences and the U.S. government was the discovery of the effectiveness of two drugs, emtricitabine and tenofovir, for preventing HIV infection. These drugs are the active ingredients in Truvada and Descovy, two oral medications that Gilead sells for PrEP, or pre-exposure prophylaxis. PrEP is a strategy that involves taking a pill daily to reduce the risk of acquiring HIV through sexual contact. The government claimed that its researchers at the CDC discovered the effectiveness of these drugs for PrEP in the mid-2000s through experiments on monkeys. According to the government, the CDC filed for patents on this invention in 2006 and 2007, and later offered to license them to Gilead, but the company refused. The government argued that Gilead was profiting off CDC patents without paying royalties or acknowledging their contribution. Gilead, on the other hand, said that it invented these drugs and that the concept of using Truvada for PrEP was well known when the U.S. government filed for the patents. Gilead also said that it collaborated with the CDC and other institutions for more than 15 years on PrEP research, and that it donated millions of pills for clinical trials. Gilead challenged the validity of the government's patents, saying they were obvious, vague and not novel. The dispute escalated in 2019, when the U.S. Department of Justice filed a lawsuit against Gilead for patent infringement. The government sought more than $1 billion in damages from Gilead, based on its sales of Truvada and Descovy for PrEP. Truvada and Descovy combined for revenue of more than $2 billion in 2022. The lawsuit was seen as a rare move by the Trump administration to challenge a drug company over high prices and access to medicines. The case went to trial in May 2023, in a federal court in Delaware. After a multi-day trial, a jury found in favor of Gilead, clearing the company of any patent violations. The jury decided that the government's patent claims on PrEP were not valid, meaning they did not meet the legal requirements for patentability. The verdict was a major victory for Gilead, which maintained its exclusive rights to make and sell Truvada and Descovy for PrEP until 2031. The outcome of the trial was also significant for public health and patient advocacy groups, who have been campaigning for lower prices and wider access to PrEP. Truvada's wholesale price was $2,000 a month before it went off patent and generic versions became available in 2021. Descovy's price is still around $1,800 a month. Many activists argued that drugs like Truvada and Descovy that have come to market with the help of federal funding should be more affordable and available to people who need them most, especially those who are at higher risk of HIV infection, such as men who have sex with other men. The U.S. government has not commented on whether it will appeal the verdict or pursue other legal actions against Gilead. The case has raised important questions about the role of public research in drug development, the ownership of intellectual property rights, and the balance between innovation and access in healthcare. The verdict was a major victory for Gilead Sciences, the world's leading manufacturer of HIV drugs. The company had been sued by the U.S. government, which claimed that Gilead had infringed 4 patents owned by the Department of Health and Human Services, HHS. These patents covered the use of a drug called Truvada for pre-exposure prophylaxis, PrEP, a daily pill that can prevent HIV infection. The government argued that it deserved royalties from Gilead for its contribution to the development of PrEP, which has been hailed as a breakthrough in the fight against AIDS. Gilead, however, denied any wrongdoing and challenged the validity of the government's patents. The company said that it had invested billions of dollars in research and development of Truvada and other HIV drugs, and that the government's patents were based on obvious and well-known scientific discoveries. Gilead also claimed that it had offered to donate free PrEP pills to millions of Americans at risk of HIV, but that the government had rejected its proposal. After a 2-week trial in a federal court in Delaware, the jury sided with Gilead and found that the government's patents were invalid and not infringed by Gilead. The jury's decision meant that Gilead did not have to pay any damages or royalties to the government, and that it could continue to sell Truvada and other PrEP drugs without any interference. The verdict was a blow to the government's efforts to lower the cost and increase the access of PrEP, which remains unaffordable for many people who need it. The government said that it was disappointed by the outcome and that it was considering its options for appeal.